So with that, I am very pleased to turn it over to Kevin to share their planning, conduct, and lessons from a really exciting event, the 2025 Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. Over to you, Kevin.
Thank you, Michelle. Morning, everybody. It's been said, I'm Kevin Valco, work with South Dakota Department of Transportation. And this morning, I'd like to talk to you all about our traffic control plan for the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. Next slide, please. The Sturgis Motorcycle Rally, I'm not sure if many of you are familiar with it, is located in Sturgis, South Dakota, here off of I-90. Um, original popular, the population of Sturgis is typically around 7,000 as of our census in 2020. So it's a very small town in our terms. The largest town closest to it is Rapid City, 23 miles on I-90. And when the motorcycle rally comes to town, we see over 400,000 visits to Sturgis over a 10-day period. Next slide, please. But Sturgis isn't the only attraction that brings people to Western South Dakota. Historic downtown Deadwood is another one, along with Custer State Park, Mount Rushmore, Devil's Tower in Wyoming, and Crazy Horse. Also see lots of tourist activity every year and are huge attractions during the motorcycle rally as well. Next slide, please. While visitors come to the rally, there is a lot of shopping in downtown Sturgis for the rally. We have campgrounds and concert venues that are full every night of concerts with multiple campgrounds hosting. The large Harley-Davidson dealerships in Rapid City and Sturgis see lots of traffic coming through as well. These are all places that people come, stay, visit during the motorcycle rally. Next slide, please. The South Dakota mission for our rally traffic control is to effectively provide a safe traveling experience for all travelers in and around the Black Hills through the duration of the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. With that in mind, we do everything we can to make it a safe and fun trip for all that have come to visit Western South Dakota. Next slide, please. The elements of our traffic control plan to help achieve the mission that was stated. We changed speed limits in certain areas. We set up temporary signals. We use portable message boards, portable speed trailers. We supply incident support, and all of this is run through our Traffic Operations Center. Next slide, please. For our speed limit changes, generally I-90 between Rapid City and Sturgis runs at 75 miles per hour. During the rally, because of the increased traffic, we reduced that to 65. There's also a stretch on Highway 34 just east of Sturgis between one of the major campgrounds that gets reduced from 45 and 65 miles an hour down to 35, and also a stretch in front of another major campground on Highway 79 about 4 miles north of Sturgis that gets reduced to 45 miles an hour from 65. Next slide, please. Our temporary traffic signals that we use are trailers that we rent, or they're permanent signals that are only used seasonally. This is showing the temporary signals that we have in place in the Sturgis area. As you can see, we have 4 different setups for signal trailers and 5 different seasonal signals that only operate during the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. Next slide, please. Moving outside of the Sturgis area and moving into a more regional area, we have 2 other portable signals that get set up at major highway intersections that see a lot of traffic, and also one at an interstate off-ramp in Rapid City that is the major exit to the Harley-Davidson dealership. Next slide, please. Looking here, this is showing some of our temporary traffic signal setups that we have, just your typical signal trailers that you rent. They're all run on battery and solar power. You have the one span wire system in the middle that gets put up as a seasonal signal only for the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. Next slide, please. We have permanent message boards that we use year-round for incident support, that we use for messages to traveling public during harsh weather events, high wind warnings, and they're also highly utilized during the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally for safety messages and also for warning of delays on the interstate or to expect crashes if one has happened up ahead. Next slide, please. We also use portable message boards that we place in more remote areas. The idea behind using these portable boards is that we can kind of corral two different directions of highways so that if a crash happens or some sort of event happens between the message boards, we can warn the travelers heading that direction that, hey, be advised that there's slow traffic ahead, consider an alternate route, just trying to provide road users as much information as early as possible. Next slide, please. And our portable message boards especially get spread out when you start looking down into our state park and the Mount Rushmore area, where there is a lot of very scenic bike routes that people like to travel. They're also very curvy, very hilly, higher chances for accidents to happen. These are routes that we have designated as priority routes to make sure that we have message board locations that we can use for getting messages out to the traveling public. Next slide, please. As you can see from these pictures, there's nothing special with our message board setup. They're generally just off to the side of the road, use some cones to delineate them. But the big key is just having them there where people can see them on a straight stretch of road if possible, or at least making them as visible as possible. Next slide, please. Our speed trailers are mostly used just for reminders, especially in the area north of Sturgis, where we have reduced the speed limit to 45 miles an hour. It gives the drivers a visual feedback that, hey, we have a reduced speed limit in this area. Please slow down, be conscious of your speed through this area. The other one is on Highway 87 near Mount Coolidge. This is a very curvy, hilly area with tight switchbacks, and we advise speeds of 25 miles an hour in this area. And the reason for the speed trailer is just to, again, get back the feedback to the drivers to make sure that they're driving a safe speed. Next slide, please. With incident support, all of this is manned through our traffic operations center, and we have highway maintenance crews available to help with any incident support that's needed. We have call-out vehicles equipped with cones, signs, stop slow paddles, and they're stationed in Rapid City, Sturgis, Deadwood, Custer, and Belfouche. They're there to support law enforcement with crashes or other incidents that may arise. We also have a front end loader that we stage at I-90 exit 34. That's about 2 miles east of Sturgis, just for the fact if there is a major pileup or a major incident on I-90, we can use that to move debris off of the roadway and get it opened as quick as possible, as this area of I-90 really has no alternatives for getting people around or getting people detoured around that area. And we also have a full list of all other equipment that we have available to us in our traffic control plan. Next slide, please. So just some incidents that we could be called out for. Bunch of buffalo across the road in Custer State Park. That's a very common thing to have buffalo crossing. Heavy congested traffic on Interstate 90 near Sturgis, and like was mentioned earlier, crashes. If it's severe enough that Highway Patrol themselves can't handle it, we can be called out. to set up traffic control to close down a lane if it was on an interstate or multi-lane highway, and do any flagging operations that would be needed until Highway Patrol would release that scene. Next slide, please. So our Traffic Operations Center, we do stage ourselves up in Sturgis so that we are in the center of all of the action. We have personnel in the Operations Center from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. all 10 days of the rally. We monitor cameras for incidents in the major Sturgis area. We also have the ability to monitor highway patrol calls to assist with accidents, to assist with getting message boards out, or not message boards out, but getting messages on the message boards, preempting traffic signals to make sure that traffic is not backing up onto the interstate. As was mentioned, in monitoring for crashes and being able to deploy or call out vehicles if necessary. And then we also manage the volume counting operations. Next slide, please. So these two pictures just show our setup. This is just a maintenance shop that we take over for the week. We have a couple TVs to monitor the cameras, to monitor the highway patrol crashes, monitor our signals. We do have a master signal controller in there as well that gives us remote access to exit 30 and exit 32 for preempting those signals. Next slide, please. With the times that have come, we have also started to implement more technology into our operations center. And instead of having hardwire master controllers, we've started looking at cabinet monitoring and remote capabilities. And that has been a huge change that we made just this past year. And it was very helpful to give us connectivity to 7 different signals across the Sturgis area instead of just 4 that we had previously. Next slide, please. Other items that occurred during the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally are Highway Patrol escorted tours. These are limited to 50 to 200 motorcycles at most. They are escorted by Highway Patrol from start to finish of the route. And the DOT helps to control the signals along their route to make traffic, to keep the ride together and keep them moving smooth and freely. Next slide, please. So going into our implementation, looking at developing an implementation plan, the way that we go about this is every January, we review our traffic control plan that we have. The nice thing about the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally is that our traffic control plan really doesn't change year to year. There may be some minor tweaks or some upgrades in technology that we're able to use, but it's more just a review of it. Yep, everything looks good. We made sure that we've got the dates correct for this year's rally. And we also start getting our rally tour requests in at this time as well. By the time May runs around, we're having a meeting with Highway Patrol as far as our guided tours. With that, we only allow 2 motorcycle tours per day, and none of those tours can enter the Sturgis area after 2 p.m. Looking as we move into June, we run a tabletop exercise with the DOT, Highway Patrol, Department of Health and Safety, Fire, National Weather Service, basically everybody that's involved in the rally at some point. And usually we go over a major scenario happening at a location, either in Sturgis or around Sturgis, just to make sure that everybody is on the same page as far as how we're going to handle it, how we're going to communicate with each other, and what forms of communication we're going to use. Once we start getting into July, now we're going to get our portable message boards out. We're going to start setting up our seasonal signals, making sure that they're operational. Our temporary trailer signals that we run, we do not deploy those until 2 weeks before the rally starts, and they become in operation 1 week before the rally is going. Then we have the rally moving into August. The rally runs the first full week of August. And as soon as the rally is over, we are removing temporary traffic signals the following Monday after the rally is done. And then by the time we hit September, we were doing an after action review of everything that happened this year and making notes of any changes or things that we'd like to see different for the next year's rally. Next slide, please. So with that, quick rundown of everything that happens at the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. Even though it seems quick and easy going through it this way, it is a very long and hard effort that we all put in.
Please go ahead and share your screens, and your video and your audio, Kevin and Chris. We're going to start with some Q&A. The first one was put in by Kristen Hahn, who, for you, Kevin, noted it looks like you needed more equipment. And I'm going to translate that to what additional equipment might be better to meet the mobility needs for the rally? And is the DOT in a position to fund this need, or might resources be borrowed from others in the area?
Yeah, equipment is always a big thing and never can have enough of it. Probably the biggest needs that I see that would help us the most is more remote cameras, more ability to live stream video in some of these more rural locations. Um, we do have 4 portable message boards that have live stream cameras on them. So that's been very helpful for us to see areas that are very hard to travel to. As far as borrowing equipment from other regions, we can borrow message boards and we do that, but the video is not something that we can borrow. As far as signal trailers, we've gone to the idea of renting those out because we just don't have the manpower or the time to actually set those up ourselves.
Makes sense. And I do invite folks, if you have specific questions for Kevin or Chris, please put them in the Q&A chat. I have sort of a follow-up question for you as well, Kevin. So what collaboration efforts stood out as helpful during the rally? You went into great detail about the transportation mobility plan, but that plan, requires a lot of stakeholders to come in. Who or what roles were critical, and where might you expand your network for collaboration?
Probably the biggest agency that we collaborated with the most would be Highway Patrol. Because they're the ones that are actually out there on the ground. They're the ones that are trying to get around the most. So we do a lot with them and we're in contact with them daily. I guess the other piece of this, maybe I probably should have mentioned during the presentation, but during the actual rally itself, we do have a ground zero meeting every day where Highway Patrol comes in, DOT comes in, Department of Criminal Investigations in, Wildland Fire's there, Red Cross is there, Health and Human Services are there. We're just giving a quick update on what is the status of every agency. So we do have communication daily as well.
I think that's critical. That's
Absolutely is,
critical to,
yes.
yeah, making sure things run smoothly. Chris, I think it was incredible to see the improvements. You had that slide with 2024 improvements, with the build time being shortened by 6 days, only minor changes being needed to the traffic management plan, as well as the incident plan. What, if any improvements do you see moving forward, if as this becomes an annual event?
And absolutely. So looking at when you look at the event, you look at the overall build time. That is for everything from start to finish. Within that, there are the actual traffic and street impacts. So for the Chicago Street Race in 2025, we only had 18 days of traffic and street impacts, whereas in 2023, we had 25 days of traffic and street impacts. And when you break that down, 2025, the entire build date, 25 days, whereas in 2023, it was 43 days. So continuing the work, we were able to hone that down, and that's different staging areas, working at different times, maybe closing some streets earlier than we did previously, all to facilitate that quicker build time, which goes a long, long way with the residents, visitors, businesses, just getting better every year and not thinking any year is good enough.
That's incredible. Coming back to the plan, are there other documentation efforts so that, you have continuity if a person changes roles or otherwise, that, you can maintain this level of positive improvements in efficiency year to year?
Oh, absolutely. So when we look at it, even our committee presentations, all of that is captured historically. So we have each and every single meeting note and document that was all packaged up. So for anyone to look at and for us to reference in years past, how did we do it in 2023? Did that work? Didn't it? What are we going to do in subsequent years? That is all there for historical reference.
I'm guessing you have a contact list that you update, in advance each year as well, so that, if there's somebody new, then to sort of give that additional background information for the new position person role.
Absolutely.
Um, Very cool. Um, what advice would either of you offer to regions considering significant street closures, that was required for the streetcar race, or, when you're having the motorcycle rally?
Plan, plan, plan. Get ahead of it early.
Yeah, that's you saw how early we started. As soon as we heard that we were getting the event, we started planning. It was just so new and the impacts were so vast that we needed every single hour of every day leading up to the event to make sure that we got it right. Otherwise, we're doing a disservice to the residents and visitors of Chicago.
Um, I'm curious, this is something that's come up in past webinars, that it takes a lot of resources, as both of you have shared. Do you actually have like special charge codes or other things so that you can sort of approximate the man hours required to put these events, traffic management, both from the planning, the execution, and the post analysis? Either of you,
Yeah.
question for either.
Yes, we do. In particular, they're called reason and labor tracking codes. So we are able to project what is needed. For instance, we use salt trucks with plows to block a lot of these streets. You think about 4-lane highway in each direction to make sure that it is actually secure. We have to use resources we have readily available. So leading up to the event, we create what are called citywide reason and labor tracking codes. And with that, that tracks the manpower hours versus the equipment usage hours. And then that goes to our Department of Finance for cost recovery efforts.
Very, very good. I think that's what some of the states are working towards as well when we were doing the past webinars. Kevin, from your side?
Yes, we do. We have our own. Basically, we created a special function for the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally, and any equipment or man hours that is being used during that time, whether it be planning, preparation during the rally or afterwards, it all gets charged to that code. And same way, we're able to track that and have reports run on it for financial and man hour time usage.
I'm going to guess the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Do you guys ever have like the city office or has the state done like a benefit cost analysis that says, this was the economic um, benefit from hosting the event, and these are the, resource costs associated with it, just to demonstrate the value of not just the mobility planning, but all of the investment that goes into hosting events.
As
My
far
my
as
guess is no, but
the state of South Dakota, no, has not done anything like this. I know the city of Sturgis did do some sort of analysis on financial revenue that they brought in a few years
Mhm.
ago. I don't remember the results of it, but basically, the rally is the only reason Sturgis exists at this point.
Wow.
And yes, for Chicago, yes, we do. There's actually it's not a city department, it's a sister agency, if you will, called Choose Chicago, and there are uh tourism branch, we'll call it. So they run those reports privately, and that accounts for visitors to the event. It could be hotel rooms booked. They have a whole matrix of cost benefit analysis for any kind of event that we do.
That's amazing. Very good. Um, Another question for you, Kevin. You support the Rapid City region traffic engineering and efforts. Do you interact with counterparts in other regions? Is there any event, maybe not of the same scale, but similar, where the City region does it one way, but other regions, in South Dakota may be doing it differently. Do you guys have any collaboration or sharing of good practices or resources?
We have not done any sharing or had any sit downs as far as being able to share cross information. I know there are other regions. They do have a lot smaller events that they're dealing with. Um, we share equipment back and forth. That's really kind of about the extent of it.
And same question to you, Chris. There are many other major cities um, outside of Chicago and other events. Are there any sort of um, efforts to collaborate with other cities or within the, different districts um, outside of Chicago?
Absolutely. But in this particular case, I really have to thank NASCAR because it was so foreign to us that part of the planning process, we actually went out as a group, as one of these planning groups, and actually witnessed how they do it on one of their own tracks. We got to talk to the municipality, we got to talk to the county and see how they do it because they do it day in and day out. Granted, it is on a fixed track that NASCAR owns, but just to see how the extended perimeter comes together because it is the municipalities or the counties that have to deal with that expanded perimeter. And it was just so foreign to me in particular as to how it all worked. That was invaluable in the planning and just being able to sit with their transportation department, with their police, with their fire, with their emergency management, and see how they approach those races because they have so much more experience. And that was invaluable to meet with NASCAR and meet with the stakeholders in some of these other areas where they have tracks and really learn, again, break down those language barriers as to, how they operate, the lingo they use versus how we operate and the lingo we use.
Do you have a funny example of that lingo dissonance?
For me, the I'm very familiar with fencing. I had no clue about NASCAR fencing. So when you look at the fence on top of that track wall, how robust it is, how scientifically precise it is unlike anything we'd ever seen. It's not a regular fencing you would use for an event to keep people in an area or to keep people out. It is specifically designed to stop race car debris. And that in the early planning process, that was a big concern. You see clips on TV, you see a wheel can pop off, and if that happens and there's a crowd there and now it's downtown, it's gonna be an issue.
Yes.
But little nuances like that really help the planning move forward so that you can just break down the misconceptions.
Interesting. Very interesting. Um, so I'm going to pause for a second. We haven't heard as many questions from participants. I'm going to give you guys a minute if you wanted to ask a question. If not, I will, let me pause for one moment, see if there's any more questions that come in. And not having seen any, I'm going to first of all say a huge thank you both to Chris and Kevin. These were very exciting and incredible events, and to see, how the cooks in the kitchen operate, I think is incredibly valuable for our audience at large. And uh, if you have questions afterward, feel free to reach out to the FHWA's Planned Special Events Program. And we will connect you with Chris and Kevin. So big thanks on behalf of David Johnson, who runs the FHWA's Planned Special Events Program. And thanks to our wonderful host from NOCO as well, Kyla. And we have a couple of slides to close off this webinar. Just to let you know that this webinar and its recording will be available on the NOCO site. If you would like a copy of the presentation, please reach out to us and we'll get you a PDF. There is a PSE website, which is listed here, and that has that PSE capability maturity tool. And we will be hopefully beginning the PSE newsletter from the Federal Highway Administration in 2026. So if you'd like to pre-subscribe, please do so here. With that, I want to say thank you, everyone, for spending an hour of your day to learn, and reach out to David or Sharon if you have any questions or if you need any support regarding planned special events. And finally, a thanks again for Chris and Kevin. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Goodbye.